Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to paint a landscape using oil colors. And what you see here is a linen canvas. I've taped it to this board. And this is a glass palette which I use for mixing colors. And this is titanium white. This is ultramarine blue. And I have some cerulean here. And for yellow, I'm going to use chrome yellow and probably yellow ochre if I need it, and I'm using this burnt umber as a substitute for red because this landscape is not going to have a lot of bright reds. And now what you see are two photos which I'm going to combine and make a painting out of that. So on the left, what you see is the landscape which I'm going to use most of it, but the tree on the left hand side and the kind of ridge which is there, I'm going to replace that with the tree which you see on the photo on the right hand side. So this big tree, which is I think eucalyptus, is going to come into this landscape, and I'm going to use the colors and time of the day from the photo on the left hand side. So the first thing which I will do is I'll set up the outline so that it gives me a reference. So I'm going to use linseed oil, and I'm using a bristle brush. Nothing special about this brush. It's just I think it's a very small brush, a flat, and I'm going to paint or draw it with this color. The horizon line is somewhere here. It's a low horizon painting, and this is going to be a small area on which there is this light falling. The light is coming in from this side. So on this side, I will replace, as I said, I'll replace this bunch on this side and replace it with this tree, which is I think a eucalyptus. It's going to be something like this. And maybe some grassy grass here or some bush, and then the rest will be almost the same as what I see in the photograph on the left hand side. So there is this small hill here which is kind of greenish, but in the distance there is a mountain which is blue, and you'll see this reflection of this tree and things like that here. Not much of a reflection is seen, but this whole area will be in shadow and it will reflect this part here and so on. And there's a small rock here, which is also will be reflected in the water. And there is a bunch of rocks here also. And to make this sky area more interesting, I'll paint a cloud here. I'll not paint it or outline it with this color because then it will make it muddy. So that's the first step. I've done the composition part and drawing part, and now I'll start mixing the colors and start laying in the darks first and step by step other colors. So for mixing the darks, I'm going to use this blue and burnt umber, and some yellow. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I think this is a bit darker than what I need. Okay, I think in terms of dark greens, this is the only place. Then I need a dark brown here. So I will just wipe my brush and start with this burnt umber and some yellow. And to make it dark, I'll add a tinge of blue in it. And let's see how this looks. Seems okay. And don't want this to be too dark. And top portion of this will catch more light. And this will be the reflection. So it'll be dark here. Okay. Now this will reflect, this green will reflect in the water to some extent here. So I'll just lay it in here. Now the top portion of this will be much lighter. So again, more yellow and some of this burnt umber. And then let's see how this looks. I can go lighter, but I'll do that in the next step. And it will be reflected here also. If you're finding this video useful, then give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And if you have any questions about the way I'm painting or the materials or the reference, please let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure I answer them. Okay. Now this side, the grass on the shoreline will be similar color, but I'll add some white in it to make it even lighter. I think that's too light. I should have painted the mountains first, I guess, but let's see. I want to keep this line very thin. Now I'm again wiping the brush clean. I'm not even washing it. And now I will make a green. I'll modify this by adding more yellow. and some more blue. Needs to be blue green, and I'll also need to lighten it up. Yeah, this seems to be a good color for that. Some more blue, some more white. I think it can be even lighter. Just get rid of this and make it even lighter. And this mountain will be even more bluish and some cerulean in that. I think that's enough. And there are some dark trees here, but I'll put them or paint them later in the next stage where I'm going to paint the details. So right now I want to keep it fairly simple, and I want to paint the rock, at least two rocks. So I'll make a dark brown rather, and paint it here. I, I don't think I should paint it right now because here I will paint the water first, or maybe I can paint it right now and then paint the reflection here. Now I think I should go into painting the sky. So again, a similar brush, not a large one, or should I use a large one? I think I'll use a large one. Again, a bristle brush, and I will start with white and add this blue to it. And I want to paint the horizon, and then I will paint the top portion of the sky. A hint of one ultramarine, not much. Let's see how this looks. Yes, think can be slightly more bluish. I want this edge to be soft and not very hard because this mountain is also not very close by. So I'll just use my palette knife and drag it over here. Okay. Adding some more linseed oil to make it easily spread on the paper, on the canvas. And as I go up, I can add ultramarine and some more white. I paint the broad areas first and then get into the details. I'll paint the cloud later on. Just want to get the sky color in first. Can be slightly more bluish. And I need to use this same color in the water also because that's what is being reflected. This can be slightly lighter. Here, some more white and cerulean. I'm using a comparatively very broad brush for this work. And now I can use the ultramarine. And now I use a smaller brush and paint the small areas which are left. I need to take out more white and do that in a bit. Just want to get rid of the white areas here. Right now, this might seem too haphazard, but that's the first stage, and then you tighten the painting up in the detail stage. So I think that completes the second phase of the painting process, which is the blocking. Now I'm going to use two small brushes, which are again, this is a slightly not a actually a flat brush. It's a flat brush, but it has its bristles cut in a slanting manner, whereas this one is more traditional flat. Both are number two, and I'm going to use those to paint the details. One thing which I noticed when I completed this stage is that the baseline, or the line at which this land mass is meeting the water, is here, and where this land mass meet is also at this almost the same level. So I need to bring this line slightly down so that I can push this into distance. I'll do that by adding more details here and pulling it down. So I'll do that first and then get into painting other things. So to do that, I'll make I had made this with actually not the blue color. I need very little of that. I will start with burnt umber and a tinge of this blue, not much. And I'll bring it down till here. And make it even more clear by pushing this here. Yeah. And this will have its own reflection like this. I want to have now much looser brush strokes, because now I have established the details, or established the overall shapes, and I can now concentrate on the details part. And this will probably be the last stage, so I can paint these things with much more finalization in mind. I won't be modifying this if not required. That will have its own reflection here, but it won't be as elaborate as this, because anyway it's beyond the painting line, edge of the painting, I mean. I will add a few dark accents here somewhere. And a hint of reflection and direct light. And for that I will darken this area. And now for the reflection of the tree, similar color, I'll just drag it down here. Now I think I can refine this. It will also have a dark edge here near the edge of the water. Yeah, some hint of shadow in there also. And I need to paint few small trees. So I will use this color and let's see how dark it looks. But I need a hint of small trees here, or at least distant ones, if not small. Yeah, I think this should be okay. I don't want to paint them quite literally, so I leave them as suggestions. And also refine the rock. I'll correct this with the color of the sky or the water. I want this edge to be. I'll do that in a bit. There is a rock here also. And it will have a brightly lit side or edge at least. So it will be like this. This also. The highlight can be slightly more pronounced. And now I will paint the cloud with some pure white, and I'll add the shadow with a grayer color. So the cloud is also catching the light from this side. So it will have this side pretty much lit directly. And I want a hint of the cloud here also. And now I need a gray. So I'll use this color and turn it into gray. Which goes here. Shouldn't be so intense. I think just hint is enough. And this will look better when I add the more intense blues here. So for that, I will choose this smaller brush and then get rid of all this gray. Now I can mix the intense blue here. And I want to add a tinge of this blue. Though it's a blue, it will slightly modify and kill that punch which ultramarine has. I just want to reduce it down a tiny bit. Yeah, this looks now. I could let's compare or let's apply this on the painting and let's see how it looks. Yes, I think it will be good. So I'm taking my small brush and let's apply this color. And since I have a blue color already on the canvas, I need not apply this as intensely as the first layer because the white of the canvas is already covered. When I apply this blue color to the sky, you can see that now the earlier the clouds were not appearing so bright. Now they have started appearing bright because of the contrast. Now I'll add some white to this to lighten it up and paint this transition area. And I think I can apply this here also. And these small ripples will further enhance the feel of the reflection. And I think there can be a hint of a cloud here also on this side of the tree. We'll just I should have changed the level at which this cloud appears. I think I can do that now. Just a hint, nothing too intense. This blue goes in here. And I think the main thing remaining now is to refine the tree. But I think I will intensify the color of the distant mountain. Yes, should be okay. And I think I need a small tree here. Anyway, that's a hint. The rock on the left hand side also needs to be slightly darker. Yeah, I think that's enough. Now coming to the large tree. So I need to mix the dark color of the tree. I'll mix it here, I think. And I'll use this for the lit side and this color for the shadow side. And let's see how it goes. I'll apply the dark side first. And I'm also trying to indicate the branches. And I'll use this light green version for this side. Coming to the tree trunk, for that also I'll use a similar color, slightly more brownish. And I will have to paint them slightly lighter because they are eucalyptus. Because this is a small painting, it's tough to do that in detail, but I'll try anyway. I need I think I'll use palette knife to mix on light color. The hue is not very important, it's the value. I'll apply this here. Not pretty. I think I need to use another brush to, oh no, to clean this. And just outline it on this right hand side with this dark color. What I'm doing now is actually painting the sky again so that what remains is going to be the tree trunk. I think I will not fuss over it more than this. It's time to walk a step, a few steps back and look at the painting. The real impact of the composition and painting is seen from a distance and not from close quarters. I think this can be slightly more yellow. In few places at least. Yeah, I think. And I want this some green in here also just to balance it out. I think that's enough. And now I need to finally once again darken this. And I'll just walk a few steps away and look at this painting and let's see what it looks like. I think I will add a few branches here because the tilt of the tree is too much going towards that, which is not helping the composition. So I need some more dark. I think this is better, and I can use this dark here to reduce the tilt of the tree. And I think I can brighten a few areas on this side. Let's try the palette knife. Yes, I think that looks good. And I can make this slightly more intense blue, at least in the corner. Similarly on this side. And a hint of a cloud on this position won't hurt. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll allow this painting to marinate or to be there in my studio for some time, and then decide whether this is final or I need to make any changes. But I can, I think, sign it and then wait for it to settle. But for now, the painting process is complete, and I hope you liked the way I painted this. Actually, combined two photographs into one painting, and now it's time to reveal the painting by removing the tape. This tape will keep it in place when I remove this. After looking at this painting for some time, I realized that these two rocks have become of the same size, and they are kind of in the middle of the painting, though not exactly. So I need to break that monotony, and for that reason, what I'm going to do is paint a small rock on this side. So let me paint something like this. And I don't want it to be too large, but a hint of a rock, which will make it into a non-uniform thing. Yes, that looks better. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this painting, and I want you to give this a try and see what challenges come up. Try to solve them. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments and I'll answer those for you. Thank you and happy painting. See you in the next video.